All right, what's up, you guys? It's your favorite cutie Melody, also the hostess with the mostest, and you are watching Passion Fruits, the podcast. I'm super excited to have some amazing guests in studio with me. Um, we're in for a treat. Very empowered women, colorful women, bold women on the couch today. So we're gonna get some gems for sure. I want to introduce you guys to Adison, Briana, and Mandy Mayhem.
Hello.
Hi. Welcome to the podcast. How are you guys feeling today?
Very happy to be here.
Yes, so happy to be here. I'm so excited. I mean, I've been following you in all of your ventures, so
Same.
yes, we've known each other for a minute, so
Yes.
I'm excited for what's in store.
Nice. Okay, so before we get started, I always ask my guests to bring intentions and to share them on camera just because it's nice to know like what everybody's coming to do today so we can execute on that. So go ahead.
All right. Well, my intention is to receive. I think a lot of the times I go in with intentions to have everyone else experience something or experience a
Mhm.
certain thing about me. And today I just wanted to receive your energy and whatever information I can glean from the divine source
Mhm.
and follow those impulses with integrity and not try to manipulate by having an agenda.
Right.
Makes sense.
That's wonderful.
Beautiful, beautiful. My intention is just to inspire also myself and others just to stay in the creative flow, especially with it being the start of 2024 and just like really act on your goals that are floating around in your mind because I feel like everyone is creative and the more that you flex that creative muscle, you're just going to get stronger and stronger and more creative. So act on them now. Don't wait and just like keep that flow going.
Yes,
Mhm.
I love that. Mine's also has flow in it. My
Always.
intention is to enjoy learning about my guests and be present in the conversational flow and try to keep it, easeful.
Mm.
Okay, so for you guys who don't know, Adison, she's a dancer, a choreographer. That's how I met her. And then Mandy is a wonderful rapper, actress. I got to learn a little bit about you on the way here. I was watching some of your YouTube content and some of your other interviews. So I learned a lot there, but it's cool that we're going to get to talk more. But before we hop into what you guys do and what you're most known for, I believe that creative people are very multifaceted. So, do you guys want to talk about some of the other things that you guys do besides like maybe rap or dance? Um,
Sure, I'll go.
mhm.
I feel like everything I do is creative, honestly. I started doing yoga when I was super young and then dance also when I've been super young. So honestly, I feel like I've been doing yoga and dance and creative things my entire life and then have just been learning the business side of it, honestly.
Mhm.
I love nature. I'm just like a total hippie girl.
Yeah.
So, yeah, totally that. Anything that's yoga, oceans, tropical
Yeah.
forest, shit like that.
Uh-huh.
I'm like totally I love it all. Such a hippie girl.
Yeah. That's wonderful.
Mhm. Yeah, I write a lot, so that's part of hip hop for sure. Writing poetry is something I've always done.
Mhm.
And I have a course I teach for time management for artists that work in multiple modalities. So if you're a
Mm.
multi hyphenate artist, sometimes it can feel difficult to like the things that you want to do fight with each other.
Mhm.
So I created this course called the Time Trampoline that teaches people how to manage that. And then I've always written like blogs, and I'm writing a book about the time trampoline, and I've written TV shows and films. I've sold 2 TV
Wow.
shows that I starred in.
Wow.
Um, yeah, so writing I think is the through line for everything, and I write. I have like so many journals. I write probably 30 or 40 minutes every day, just like blah
Mhm.
morning page stuff. So
Mhm.
I would say that's the biggest other thing besides the performative things I do.
Oh, nice.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, do you guys want to talk about when you first got started, like with dancing and yoga and with writing?
Totally. Okay, so my mom actually got into yoga when she was pregnant with me.
Wow.
So I have this thing where I'm like, I was totally a prodigy, a little yoga
Yeah.
kid. And then when I was born, I was always traveling around, going to yoga studios with her, always like sitting in the back of the class. And at
Oh, so
first,
she was
yeah, she
teaching.
was teaching. My
Wow.
mom started teaching after I was born. Like
Yeah.
she was taking classes and stuff when she was pregnant. Um, but at first, I always thought it was so corny because nobody wants to do what their mom does,
Yeah.
obviously. But then it was ingrained in me. So I got a little bit older and think like middle school, high school, I started taking yoga classes.
Oh.
And then I became obsessed. And like also with like the very challenging poses. And I was like, now I can do stuff my mom can't do. So it's
Yeah.
more cool. And I was doing the really intense yoga classes and stuff. But now, literally, as I've gotten older, I'm just becoming my mother fully.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is she like your best friend?
Yes, totally.
Yeah.
And like, she introduced me to sensuality and like a very healthy concept of femininity
I
and just
love
expressing
that.
that from a really young age. So, I mean, you see it with the floor play classes,
Can
everything.
you
We'll
talk
talk
more
about
about
that.
that? Because I didn't have that experience of like having my mom, introduce me into like
Yeah.
femininity like that. I don't think a lot of people have that
No.
experience. So that's very like unique.
It's definitely a unique experience, and, like, I don't think I really talked to anyone who had that experience,
Yeah.
and I don't think my mom was, like, planning on that either, that's just who she was,
Mhm.
and my dad worked most of the time, so I was mostly spending time with my mom, and of course, she's very when you're practicing yoga, you're very grounded in your body,
Yeah.
and especially going through pregnancy, and so, um and dancing. And then so what happened was my mom and her friend wanted to get into pole fitness just for fun.
Yeah.
So she was starting her journey in that. And so I was just kind of along for the ride. So like I feel like she was coming and empowering herself with that. And I
Yeah.
was just so young and there for it. So
About how old were you?
I would say like 14.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
so I was like learning about pole fitness and how it's not about selling your body and it's
Mhm.
about tuning into yourself and how you can be sensual and not sell your sexuality
Yeah.
and just like the beauty of movement like that.
Mhm.
So that was really, really cool. And I feel like my mom also like preached to me just like how to be confident and everything. So I really
Yes.
carried that throughout everything. When I went to college, I started teaching dance fitness right away, like
Yeah.
when I was 17, and yoga as well. Like I started teaching without any certifications or anything just because I knew
It's
it.
like who you were at that
It
point,
was
like,
like
you had been
second
around
nature.
it,
I'm like, yeah, I
yeah.
can go get a certification, but I can teach a class.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I was totally obsessed with YouTube and learning online. So, everything really fell into place naturally, honestly.
Wow, I love that. Oh my
I
god.
forget totally where we were going with that.
Oh, no, you were just talking about how you got started, which that's
Uh-huh.
amazing, I love that origin story.
Mhm.
So what about you, Mandy? What got you started?
In hip hop?
Yeah, in writing, whatever came first,
Yeah.
if you did you start off automatically, like, making
Oop.
raps, or was it just a writing and a progression of
I hmm. So in the first grade, I had this teacher who used to give us free writing time.
Mhm.
This was I was however it's 7, it was 82. So all my teachers were hippies because they had all grown up in like the 60s. So
That's
my
awesome.
yeah, so this particular teacher, Mrs. McKenna, she would wear like Birkenstocks and play acoustic guitar at like circle time. We would sing Bob Dylan songs and shit. Like
Yeah.
it was I went to a hippie granola school. So we had these free writing sessions every day. And I feel like it was an hour, which is a really long time for a 7-year-old to sit there and write.
Mhm.
Probably wasn't that long, but in my mind, that's what it was. And she used to say, don't worry about punctuation and spelling, just write your story.
Mhm.
And then in the same grade, we made these little books. So we created a story, and they took cardboard and wallpaper, and then to bind a book, they would sew it with this thread,
Mhm.
and then they put it in the school library. We illustrated it. They put it in the school library and gave it a little Dewey Decimal number so we could go check out our own book.
Mhm.
And it's just like a very formative memory for me. And I think about my process now. It's so much about just letting everything happen. And it can feel very chaotic to sometimes my collaborators because I'm like, this and blah, 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 blah. And they're like,
I'm
we're
the same way.
doing a song. We're not writing like a, a feature film. And I'm like,
Yeah.
no, but, blah, 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 you know. But because I find that the editing happens naturally, but if I try to limit the creative process in the beginning, it doesn't work for me. I have to allow all these impulses that don't seem to make any sense. And I feel like it comes from her. The rest of the story is very long. You can just watch another podcast to hear all about hip hop and whatever. But I think that that's crucially most important to what we're talking about today.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Mandy talked about her creative process. You also create, obviously, like when you're making your dances and stuff like that. I feel like you tell a story with your choreography. So do you feel like your process is similar, or how do you go about like when you're choreographing?
Totally. I like to just get in the studio, and for me, it's mostly about setting the vibe and being in the right energy. Like, I like to like dress in an outfit that's bringing out that energy that I want to embody, even when I'm creating the piece. Like, if I want to do
Oh, that's
like a
cool.
really like stripper sensual piece, I'm definitely going to like practice in the pleaser heels.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm definitely just going to be wearing something hot like on my floor. Like, yeah, just like maybe drink a glass of wine and just get in that energy that I want to embody because that's what's going to come out. I feel like as long as I get myself there and I'm just in front of a mirror or whatever, it will just come to me. And yes, I'll listen to the words and I'll listen to the beats and like I'll just try to like focus on something else, something specific
Mm-hmm.
in the music and what I want to bring out in the choreography. And then there's certain elements I want to incorporate. Like every choreography, I want like a signature move that when I think about that choreography or when people think about it, they're like, oh, that song, that move. So that's what gets in the head. And I want to make sure to like switch it up so I can't be the same pace the whole time. Yeah, but that's basically it. I just start and then watch it back, watch it back, watch it back until it's giving me the right feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Okay. That's wonderful. I love that. I love that. I love that. So, okay, let's talk about comment sections because both of
Okay,
you guys
period.
both have like a platform, platform. So, how do you handle being so I feel like when you're creative, you're being vulnerable. So, you're putting people right in front of you, sharing like the most intimate parts of you because it's just like everything is coming from you. And it's something that when you get done with it, you feel good about it, or even when you're in the midst of doing something that you love that thing. So, how do you handle the different kinds of comments that you get, specifically like maybe the negative ones? And how does it affect you and like how you continue in your process?
Yeah, I live stream a lot, so 2, 3, sometimes 4 times a week on TikTok and for multiple hours, 2 or 3 hours. And I'm performing, covers, I'm doing my own material, I'm improvising, doing mashups and a lot of freestyling. And I freestyle the comments.
Yeah.
So, it's really hard to well, let's just say I'm very grateful for the skills that I've developed of being able to, as an artist, receive all of the gifts that are coming from all around and transmute them, interpret them into whatever is going to come through my instrument. Um, However, there's there's being in creative flow and then there's being in ego. And when I'm in ego and I'm thinking about being cool or getting it right and the comments come in a way that's horrifying or even amazing, that's where the trap is for me. So just in the space of receiving as I'm creating. So imagine you're choreographing and while you're choreographing people are commenting. That's what it is essentially. I'm
Yeah.
in creative flow, which is the most vulnerable state,
Yeah.
and being stabbed the whole time.
Oh my God.
And also being evaluated and being
Right.
loved.
I feel like this is the process.
Yes.
Process right now.
Yeah.
So it's like if I attach my identity or my sense of self-worth or anything about the art to the comment, whether it be positive or negative. They're both the same trap. So if somebody says, "Oh my God, you're glowing," and I'm like, "Wow, I am glowing. Look at me, I'm glowing." Then all of a sudden I'm like not in
gosh.
flow,
Yeah,
So
because
it's
you're
like,
thinking about the
I
comments.
love
yeah,
compliments.
Me too.
right. But
It's
Thank
going to my
you.
head.
that's a setup though. That's the setup, because then the next thing that comes gets you. The one like, "No, you're old. You're not glowing. It's you know, lubrication on your face," or whatever the joke they're trying to make.
Yeah.
You know, so that's the trap for me. I've gotten to the point where I can't actually read any comments on my videos on Instagram in particular, and TikTok. I don't really read them either because it makes me feel sick. And it's only after I take in the good that the bad hurts me. So it's kind of it is a Buddhist sort of way of being where you don't identify with anything, right? And you just try to stay in a state of receiving, which to the point of my intention today. And that's where I try to stay in my show, is like sometimes when I'm in ego, I will I will reach up in the middle of my show and pull the light down into my body. This is the only place that I should be receiving information from during my live. Yes, I talk to people. Yes, I communicate with them. Yes, I make jokes. Yes, I clap back. Yes, I do all the things. But I can come from a place of like, you can't affect me because you're not going to tell me what my identity is. I'm not going to externalize my own experience of myself by letting you tell me what it is. And when I start in that place, I'm okay.
Yeah.
But if I'm like premenstrual or like, had went through a breakup last year online, essentially, it was like, it can be really challenging. So I've strengthened my relationship with that divine information and with my artistic practice. And it's so much stronger now. And really, across all the different ways in which I create art as an actor, as a writer, as a hip hop artist, dancer, whatever, I'm, it's the same skill. And that is to get into flow, to open up the portal and hold it open as long as you can when under duress. And so on a set as an actor, I'm under duress. There's cameras, there's lights, there's people moving, there's everyone's at different agendas and ideas and interpretations, and then I have to show up and do my work without being affected by those things in a way that's going to get in the way of the art. And that's my job as a dancer, as a singer, as a whatever, is to hold that space open. So I practice that through meditation and preparing for my show in a way that it's like I'm so permeable because I have to take in, that's part of the improvisation process. I want to take in what they're saying, that energy. It's beautiful. It's stunning to feel everything that's going on in the room. Like I have 80,000 people in my show in a given night. It's a lot of energy passing through. And so I want to take it in and transmute it and co-create with this audience, but I don't want to do it to the detriment of myself. I don't want to lose myself in the process. So it has to be like, spirit first and then community.
Yeah. Wow, I love that. I love that you protect yourself actively, like you do what you need to do to make sure that you're good. Cause
Yeah.
woo, I can only imagine it gets pretty crazy.
You have to.
Yeah.
Right.
My friend told me to turn myself into a disco ball before each thing. So it's like you're just mirrors and they're coming at you and you're reflecting it
Exactly.
back.
That is the perfect analogy.
Yeah. Because I'm sparkly.
Exactly, period.
Yeah.
So you want
I
to talk
love
about your
that.
process?
Yeah, with comments.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm so at a place where I so do not care.
Oh,
I
that's
so do not care. I honestly haven't cared for a while, and I feel like people always say like, "How do you let it just roll off your back?" And I'm like, "What comments? Like
Yeah.
nothing was that bad in my opinion." But also, I genuinely don't feel like I get a lot of hate comments. And overall, the positive comments like fully outweigh the negative. I feel like most of my negative comments are like hypersexualized comments. But I'm also went into this business being fully aware of that, and I also do OnlyFans, so I'm also selling that. So, as benefiting me either way,
Yeah.
how I see it. The one thing that I really, really hate is the negative comments about my students, specifically my male dancers. When people are saying, like, they ruined the video, I skipped past this part. And it's like, I get that that's the society that we live in, but it's just so unacceptable. And it's just like dancing is a place that we all come to express ourselves and love dance. So that's unacceptable to me. As far as the comments, I just like, I don't know. I get a lot of love in person too in my classes. And like I've traveled, and taught in so many places around the world and gotten so much love in person. And it's really more to me about if I'm happy with my work. Like if I watch something, I'm not happy with it. A ton of people could be like, oh my God, it's the best thing ever. And I'm sitting there like, not really. Yeah. But if people don't like it, I'm like, whatever. I don't know. I'm creating new stuff like almost every
All the
week.
time.
So there's gonna be some people like and some people don't.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I love that.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so I would say both of you guys, to a certain extent, really all of us, like kind of perform, sexuality with our art. Do you feel like that affects like how some people like when they meet you, how they think that you'll be? And how do you guys deal with that?
For sure.
Yeah.
I get people a lot of times telling me that I'm like more professional in person, which I would say is true because I'm very just like fun and flirty.
But what do they mean by that? Because
I
like,
know I used to take it as like people think I'm just like a pushover or I'm not smart. I get people saying like, "Oh, you're actually more intelligent." I mean, I'm not like talking a ton online. I'm mostly just
right.
dancing. So
Right, it's like,
I
how would you
mean,
know?
at this point, I kind of get it.
Yeah.
And honestly, I'm loving that journey for me because I feel like there is a power in being underestimated.
Yeah.
And it's just like people don't really see you as a threat so much. And I'm just like here being flirty and fun, but I'm making money, and people aren't like necessarily scared of me. And I'm just like here skating by. And then you talk to me and I'm like, yeah, like I have a bachelor's degree, like I'm educated and like
Yeah.
I show up and I know my shit. So yeah,
Yeah.
I'm smart. Hi.
Exactly. Nice to meet you.
Hmm. Um, it's such a complicated question. It's been going on my entire existence. I actually thought like when I stopped dyeing my hair, which was in 2018, I used to dye my hair red. Um, that I would be able to just like not have to be the hot chick anymore, not have to play the role. And what I learned when I stopped dyeing my hair was that I had been playing a role. I actually didn't realize I'd been doing it. That I would walk into the room and try to figure out who I needed to be in that room to be safe. That's where it comes from initially. We're always looking to figure out if we're safe as females. And when I stopped dyeing my hair, I thought, okay, now I'm invisible. Right? It's not the first thing everyone talks to me about is my hair and blah, blah, blah. And I'm going to practice walking into the room and thinking about what I want from the room instead of who I need to be. And what I realized is that I was manipulating the world and using my looks and my sexuality in order to get what I thought I couldn't get in any other way. And when I stopped doing it, I realized that no, I actually can't get it in any other way. That actually there's a system of oppression there is pretty privilege, but I'm doing what I have to do to survive because the system does not respect me. It doesn't matter if my hair is gray or red or black, if I'm beautiful, if I'm conventionally unattractive, it does not matter. I am a woman who presents as a woman, and therefore I'm always going to be first and foremost having to work harder than anyone else if it's a room full of men. And I didn't want to believe that. I wanted to, think that it was my contribution to the world, like the way I was showing up in the world that was being reflected back to me. And I'm sure that there's a component of that going on, but ultimately we live in an environment that there's no pay equality for women. Like still, you know, there are certain lanes in which we can excel and succeed, maybe, you know, more so than men. But like I worked in cheerleading for 10 years. I ran a cheerleading business globally. I choreographed for the Chinese national team all over Europe and etc. And still in that industry, it's 98% female. The majority of the coaches and choreographers were men because our structure is imbalanced. So, you know, now as I'm like, I have this song, or it's a poem, and it's just like I thought going gray would cure me of this dependency. It turns out I'm hotter now. Like I tried, you know, but now it's like, okay, well, now there's just different dudes trying to fuck me. Like it doesn't matter. I don't know if I can swear on here or whatever, but
Now she owns
Oh,
it,
yeah,
so
do
she's
it.
hotter.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
like, I mean, you know, so my music, every piece of art that I create, there's a thesis statement. And I didn't like start with a thesis statement, but I looked at all my work and I was like, there's a question here that I'm trying to answer that I can't. And that is, what does it look like to express the feminine outside of the male gaze? And I don't think that we know. I don't think we've seen it enough. There are moments of it, but the male gaze is so prevalent. It has been, you know, 2,000 years of writing and media, whatever, different forms of telling our stories that have been dominated by male narrative that we don't even know what it looks like yet. So when I write a song, like my song Legendary Clitoris,
Love that.
you should see how long it gets, is like fucking ridiculous. I mean, it's not because it grows and it gets long and cool. Like I like my clitoris, but like think about how much we've heard about men's dicks.
Right.
And then I have this other song where it's like, I ain't had no dick in me for 3 months. Don't talk to me if you're shitting.
I think that was the first video I saw of you.
Probably. Yeah. So that one's like, it's like playing on this, you know, who do you want me to be in order for you to feel safe? And who do I want to be to feel safe? And what does it look like for me to have power? Like Legendary is basically, as the song progresses, I'm like, fucking your face fast. Now face facts, need to sober up. You're pussy drunk, getting lost in my legs, illiterate from the weight of my labia on your tongue. I'm not done. Keep the pressure on. Keep the pressure on. Keep the pressure on. Like when do you like, it's like I'm like assaulting this man's face essentially in the song. It's like that is power that I just haven't had in real life. I mean, maybe the odd, you know, sexual experience, whatever, but like it's not generally allowed. So I'm pushing up against this energy. And there's a lot going on in the music that I'm making that is just like way beyond what people's experience of it is. So I got like probably 500 dick pics in
How do you feel about that?
It was actually traumatic.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it really was.
Oh, no.
It really fucking was because I
They're bad.
it's just like I didn't expect them at first. It was videos, people like swinging it around. Like it was just like so much.
Helicopter?
I was like, I didn't ask for this.
Yeah.
Just because I made this song doesn't mean I want to see your dick.
Exactly.
And I think, you know, it's the whole thing is about like trying to protect and preserve my space and understand like where does your power end and mine begin when I'm in a room with you. That same thing that I was experiencing when I stopped dyeing my
Like
hair.
the respect.
Yeah, and like yes, like hold space for me, I'll hold space for you. I've been holding space for people my whole life, making sure they're okay before I can be okay, you know? And that's codependency and I'm working on it. But like I think in terms of the sexualization of me versus my art, I know that I'm flirting with it. That's the point.
Yeah.
Is like for us to ask questions about it. About like who does my body and my sexuality and my sexual expression belong to when I'm performing? Am I performing for you or am I performing for myself? And I don't actually know a lot of the time whether I'm being performative.
Maybe it's like a dance.
Am I like showing you, or am I like experiencing myself and you just get to watch? They're
Right.
very different
How
experiences.
do you feel about that, Adison? Do you feel like are you strictly dancing for yourself or is it a little bit of both, like when you are performing?
Both.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm in my own world
Yeah.
most of the time, for sure.
Really? Like, what do
But
you think about before you perform?
um, it's just me and the camera. Yeah. But I don't know, it depends on the routine, like the high energy routines. And you'll notice when you watch the videos that I don't like to perform the high energy routines as a solo really much anymore.
Oh, okay.
For me, that's about being in a group.
Yeah.
Whereas like the more slower, sensual ones, like sometimes lately I don't even want people in the background because I want that effect of it's just me and the camera. Like I'm in my room by myself dancing for me.
Mhm.
Yeah, so it just depends on the vibe I wanna give, whether it's like fun girls party or
Yeah.
yeah, whatever.
Do
That's
you
Mhm.
notice a difference based on who's behind the camera? Like whether
Oh, for sure. And I have a girl that I absolutely love who I work with now, and I love working with a female team.
Mhm.
Yeah, for sure. I've worked with a lot of male videographers, and they've done a great job. But I just love working with Evelina right now. She's
Mhm.
amazing. I so prefer it, and especially my class, a lot of the girls will come basically naked,
yeah.
Mhm.
and it's just a different vibe, and then it's like
It
the
feels
guys
safe.
have girlfriends, and then it's like a weird thing, and it's
Mhm.
like, I'm not hitting on your man,
Yeah. Like it's not even about
it's
him.
not even yeah,
Yeah.
it's not even about him, I just need the video.
Yeah.
I really do, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Well, speaking of collaborating and working with others, you recently worked with Coil
Oh
Ray.
my
Do
gosh,
you want to talk about like
yes.
how that collaboration came across and
Honestly, it happened so naturally, and I'm honestly still shook about it and so excited.
yeah, so happy for you.
I had seen her videos, and I definitely noticed that her she's been working on her dancing,
Mhm.
and I thought she definitely has the like the floor play essence, the floor play vibe, and she's getting that kind of movement, that sensual movement that I like. And she had posted a video, I think it was a recap of 2023, and I commented and said, "We'd love to work with you in 2024." She messaged me right away and was like, "Yes, like I've seen your videos. Let's do it. Let's do a private lesson." And it just happened really fast. And then the next day we were just shooting the video.
Yeah. Wow. So did you like teach it to her right
Yeah.
before you
Well,
recorded or
yeah, we did a
oh,
couple of lessons and then yeah, it came together
nice.
really fast. She was super fast learner. Yeah.
Wow.
Mhm.
That's amazing. I
Yeah,
mean,
it was so amazing. And it was just like such a validating feeling. Um
especially
and
cuz she already saw your work. Like how did you
yeah,
feel when she said that?
yeah, well, I guess I'm not sure if she had already seen it or if she just, like, stalked me right then.
Uh-huh. I'm sure
But
she
I
has.
mean,
I mean,
yeah, it was a moment where I gotta give myself some credit because I do have a lot of subscribers on YouTube. When
yeah.
you look up dance videos, my videos do come up for
Mhm.
sure, so, it's definitely been an eye-opening moment for me because sometimes I feel like I don't notice like, when you see the numbers online and how that translates in
Mhm.
real life, I'm like,
Mhm.
"Yeah, it's a lot of numbers," but people aren't, like, recognizing me out on the streets. I mean, sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, how much do people really know me? You don't really know until you see it,
Mhm.
and I'm like, "Oh, shit," and to see my dance moves on her body
Yeah.
and, like, she is an incredible artist, so,
Yeah.
yeah, it's so exciting.
That is so exciting.
Mhm.
Mandy, what are your favorite collaborations that you've had, like in any capacity, whether it be like writing scripts, acting, rapping?
Mm. Um, well, I did a collab with Mark Ribier, um, he's the guy who makes music in his underwear on and he does like live streams out in the world. So we met up in Grand Union Square and did a collab there. And then him and Cool Keith and I are talking about doing a collab together. And Cool Keith is a rapper who's like very avant-garde. He was like kind of the first one really to create like abstract hip hop. So I'm very excited about that. He's super sexy and weird. So we're gonna create some weird sexy thing. But right now I'm working on an EP with a man named Keith Shockley, who's one of the producers from Public Enemy from the Bomb Squad. Public Enemy was a like foundational hip hop group in my life. I think I was like maybe 12 or something when they came out and just changed hip hop. And they did Belle Biv DeVoe and work with Ice Cube and all these like classic artists. And so he and I've been in the studio in New York for quite a while. And I'm going back in a couple weeks to finish it. So I'm very excited about that. And then there's another artist named Havoc who's from a group called Mobb Deep, and we're working on something together. So it's a lot of these like seminal hip hop artists that see, I think, in me well, the feedback that I get from a lot of people that are hip hop heads is that they just see how much I love and revere the art form, and the energy and love that comes through in my work is like they're attracted to that, and also the like hypersexual shit. Maybe they want to fuck me. I don't really know.
Maybe.
But with Keith, it's not. I feel really safe with him, and I'm enjoying working with him for sure. So that's probably my favorite that I'm looking forward to. And in the past, I really love finding an amazing makeup artist and hair artist,
Oh.
and then production designers. Oh, hey, that's actually AI. That's
No way.
yeah, that's an artist named Scorpion Sorbet that I collaborated with. Um and I just love the work that she's been doing. And in my song Legendary, there's a line that says, "Still a breeder, dropping eggs on you just like it's Easter." And so we put all these Easter eggs in that piece
Oh,
to
that's
like,
cute.
yeah, but that's AI. And they built a model of my face from a bunch of pictures. And then we did a whole bunch of shots together. So we're talking about doing a video. I have a song on this new album called Final Ovulation Celebration,
Oh,
which
wow.
is,
I love that title.
yeah, it's about like croning. Basically, there's these croning ceremonies that women in like witch tribes used to do. And when you have your final period, you have a croning ceremony, which is like bringing you into the next phase of your life. And I'm like, why don't we do this?
Right.
So
How do you know when it's your final one?
well, it doesn't come back again, but I think it's like significant of it's like, you have your they used to have debuts for young women when they would come out into society, it was sort of,
You're just like
yeah, here I am.
final period.
Yeah, I think it's maybe for women that have already had it, or I'm having my period, whatever, but like I don't know how many eggs I got left, but I keep singing about them. But in this song, we have a banquet, and I like drop my final egg, and we eat it, and it's like then there's like all these fuckboys, and they're there because now I can have sex with no consequences.
Oh,
essentially.
wonderful. Yeah.
And
Honestly,
so
yeah.
all the crones are there, and we just fuck our fuckboys and dance around and like cackle.
I love this. That sounds
Yeah. So
cool.
I'm talking with that artist, and maybe we're gonna do some AI stuff in that video.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's still a ways away, but
I'm looking forward to that.
Mhm.
So this is a good time to do show and tell.
Okay.
So Adison, do you want to go first?
Yes, I'm hiding mine down here. Okay, I brought my pleaser. And this is probably, honestly, this pleaser has been with me all around the world. And she's actually really banged up, but you can't tell too much.
You really can't.
No, you really can't. Like, there's something about this design. So if you guys are looking for a pleaser, this is the perfect one.
Yeah.
Like, this is the best shoe they've made.
Yeah.
And this is just, I love the concept of the pleaser. It's just,
Is it a brand? Is that a brand?
okay,
Yeah.
pleaser is a brand, but the platform heel is
Okay.
the general what it is.
Okay.
But something about this just gives feminine power to me.
Mm-hmm.
Something about this long heel, and you're just tall as shit.
Mm-hmm.
And the pretty lines, and it just makes you so long, and I just love it.
Yeah.
Like this, I think these shoes, like I literally have a fetish for these shoes and the
Yeah.
movement in them.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then they just, when you put them on, they bring out something. Like what I was talking about earlier, when I need to get in that zone, like if I'm choreographing for pleasers, I have to put them on
Yeah.
because something's so satisfying about the clack and how your leg
I
moves.
love
And now
the
there's
clack.
right, and now there's weight at the bottom of your foot. So when you're moving your legs and you're opening up and hit the floor, it's
Yeah.
like it just brings out
It
this
does
energy
something to
because it
you,
does something to
right?
you. It's not like you just have this light foot that's moving around. You have some weight on it,
Yeah.
and you could do some damage with this.
Literally.
Yeah. So that's my sentimental
When did
I
you get
don't
it? Was it your first or just
Oh,
like
no. Probably a couple of years ago, but I literally have so many. Like,
Yeah.
my closet has these shoes all lined on the top
Yeah.
of it.
Mm.
But I would say this is my favorite one just
Mhm.
because she's been everywhere with
Yeah.
me, and she still looks pretty good, I would say.
I
Yeah.
love that it's
Yeah.
matte.
Yeah,
Yeah?
right? Mhm.
Yeah.
Just something about it is so satisfying, and it inspires a lot of my movements.
Mm.
Just like when you're standing in it, the
Mhm.
position that it puts your body into
Mhm.
is just ultimate, like yeah, it just gives you
Power.
that vibe.
Yeah.
Mhm. It's a little, like, BDSM vibe.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I like that.
Yeah. That's my show and tell.
Okay.
Dope.
Hey.
So mine is um, a neon sculpture of a labia that I originally designed for a music video. You've heard of music videos, yes, darling?
Yes.
A music video in, I want to say 2015. The song's called Crave. And the concept of the video was that I was dressed in this like 50s garb, like 50s housewife. I came home and I turn on the neon in the window, and it's a larger version of this, and that lets the neighbors know that the show's about to start.
Oh, wow.
So the neighbors
Yeah.
are all dressed in 50s clothes, and they come over and they're like peeking in the window, and I start to clean. And I'm like dusting very softly, and I'm doing the dishes, and I'm vacuuming, and like doing again, it's about like the male the male gaze. Like
Mhm.
it's like what is it that you crave is the question in the song. The chorus, um, you can be my virgin, I'll penetrate your hymen. Squeeze your face between my legs. What is it that you crave? Basic stuff. So the idea is like, do you want me? You think it's going to be this big sexual thing, but
Mhm.
it's actually just a woman doing housework.
Mhm.
And is that what you want me to be? Is this woman? So now this has become it's in all my shows. I'm selling a limited edition of them.
Mhm.
They're signed and numbered, but it's become like my logo essentially. And also the idea of having like chunky labia, I did not realize was like a problem. Everyone that I've ever
Yeah,
had
what's
sex
that
with has been
about?
fine with it, and
Right.
cried frankly when they see how beautiful it is. And that's not to say that not having chunky labia isn't beautiful, but um, I think that it's really important when you don't have experiences with other women, you don't see. I mean, I grew up without a lot of porn, so you see, but there's like, one version of a vagina. That's not okay. Like we
Mhm.
need to just get over it. That's why the heavy labia or the long clitoris or whatever it is that I'm talking about is an exaggerated version of this is ridiculous.
Mhm.
Let's,
Mhm.
stop. So that's part of it too. That's what's going on there.
Okay, cool.
Mhm.
Well, also, did you bring anything? I know you had a floor play
Oh,
shirt that
yeah.
you want to share, or if you guys have any merch or anything, this is a good time to break it out.
Um, well, I don't know when this podcast is coming out,
Um,
but I'm assuming by the time it comes out, these will definitely be available on my floor play shop
Mhm.
because now I'm in a new venture of dance clothing.
Oh,
So this
nice!
is my first custom piece.
Congratulations.
So I'm gonna show you. These are the booty
Oh, that's
shorts. They're like little
cute.
scrunch booties, and I
Ooh.
have them in a bunch of different colors. Oh my gosh, this is inside out. These are just my samples. And a little
That's
floor
cute.
play top, right?
Cute.
Yes.
Yeah, so I have my first dance set that I'm so proud of,
Can I see
and
the back again?
yeah, totally.
Floor Play's such a great name.
Thank
Really good.
you. Thank you.
Mhm.
Honestly, I'm so proud of it.
Mhm.
Yes.
When I was first teaching my choreography, the name was Down and Dirty, which
Oh.
kind of fits the vibe as well. Down and dirty with me. And then when I started teaching in LA, this name was just stuck in my mind for over a year. And honestly, I'm shocked that no one else really took it. Now people are trying to take it and they're trying to say like mixing up floor work and floor play.
Mhm.
And I'm like, floor play is my brand,
Yeah.
floor work is the
Mhm.
style.
Mhm.
Mm.
So yeah, but it's
Mm.
kind of like pleaser.
Yeah.
brand platform shoe is the style. So yeah, but I get it.
Yeah. Well, hopefully that works out.
Right. Shout
'Cause
out
it's
to
the
everyone
perfect
else calling
name.
their class floor play.
Right. You're a trendsetter.
Period.
So we're going to do some questions from this box to maybe get to know you guys a little bit more personally.
Okay.
Let's see what comes out. Okay. What is a dream you've let go of? Oh, that's a good one.
Huh.
Go
I need to
first.
think.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was music.
Yeah.
I really did.
So it's not your dream anymore?
It is my dream,
Okay.
but I thought I had let go of it.
Oh, okay.
Like, so last November, 2022, I was just acting, and I had let go of hip hop a long time ago because million reasons. And I got an audition for a retirement home commercial.
How did you feel about that?
I was like, I mean, I'm so deeply humiliated by the acting industry at this point that I can't get any worse. And I was just like, whatever. But I really, I had a TV show that I've written about cheerleading
Mhm.
called Trophies, and I've been trying to get it off the ground for like 4 years. And I was so frustrated because all these things just weren't working, and I kept running into walls, like with acting, with producing, whatever. And I was like, I don't know what to do. And so I said a prayer that morning, and I was like, God, just give me a clear path, because you know me better than I do. And like, if I knew what to do, I would have done it by now, because I'm a smart person. And then, throughout the series of messages throughout the day, I realized that going live on TikTok was the thing. And I ended up having a meeting with TikTok that day. And I just started rapping, and it was like completely blew up. Within a month, I was insanely viral. And I just did not think, how do you think you're going to have a rap career begin essentially I was 47 at the time. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
I love that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that so much.
And now I'm like, okay, great, perfect. Now I can write the menopause album because it's ready. It's time. The world needs it, But like I had completely let go of music,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
it found me. I was still participating in it. That's
Mhm.
part of my time trampoline thing, is like still playing in the spaces of the things that bring you joy, even though you're not necessarily trying to do anything with it. So I've always been working on my skills.
Yeah.
I just didn't think it was going to be a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm happy that everything worked out.
Yeah, well,
and it's working out.
It's working out. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yes, always.
Yeah.
I kind of feel the same thing.
Yeah.
I don't really know if I can say it's like a dream that I let go of.
Mhm.
It's more of, I feel like I've gotten to places in my life that I thought I wanted to be, and I realized I wasn't happy, and I just kept coming back
Yeah.
to dance and yoga. And I feel like it's more like I just gave in to that dream. Like I went to college for exercise science, and I was a personal trainer at Equinox, and I thought that was what I wanted to do, and it just wasn't making me happy. And it was just like a series of those things, and I'm just like, well, I guess I'm gonna just be a dancer. And like
Yeah.
for some reason, when I'm dancing and I'm stretching and I'm preaching to people about being healthy, and I'm just doing that and in that energy, that's what's received well anyways. So
Yeah.
there's not really anything that works out better for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's honestly perfect. I'm doing exactly what I want to do.
Yeah.
And I'm just realizing more and more and more, the more that I stick to that, the growth is exponential.
Mhm.
Yeah,
It's
not straying
alignment.
away.
Mhm.
When you're out of alignment,
Mhm.
it's like, it's not quite right.
Right.
Even if you're good at it, but alignment is like the glow. It's like you're glowing when you're
Right.
in your element.
Mhm. And even now I try to just stay really in tune with that, and um only agree to projects that are creatively fulfilling me.
Yeah.
And like I feel it's just an ongoing journey. Whenever you think you're somewhere, then you get offered something and think, oh, maybe I want to do this, and then I'll start and be like, I don't know. It's just feel like it's pulling me away from the things that really make me happy. Yeah, just like the type of lifestyle I want to live. So I just have to keep drawing myself back to the major goals and feelings.
Yeah. I love that. What is a compliment you wish you received more frequently?
I just wish people would stop saying, well, you're beautiful. like, fuck off. Like, is that a compliment? It sounds like I don't understand that.
Yeah.
Don't say that to me. So I guess it's just like, please don't preface a compliment with like an insult.
Yeah. Yeah.
But to the story I said earlier, I wish that I wasn't as affected by people's opinions as I am.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
A compliment that I wish I
Got
received
more
more
of.
frequently. Let me think for a second. I don't know if this is really a compliment, but I had someone, yeah, it was to me. I had someone tell me like we were at a party and I was just like dancing around and having fun. And this always happens to me when I'm just like, whatever, having fun on vacation. And someone was like, I just want you to like stay in this energy forever, never stop.
Mhm.
And I love that.
Yeah.
That is just like, it makes me so happy when people recognize that beauty
Yeah.
of just like feeling free and creative.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I want to stay in that energy forever. And of course, it's like I have to run my business and like be very masculine at times. And I have to deal with all of the things that life comes with.
Mhm.
But yeah, that's the goal is me just more and more and more to stay in that energy more and more and more. And that's my intention coming into this podcast too, is
Yeah.
just to like keep acting on your ideas. And the more
Mhm.
that you're creative, the more you're going to be able to live in that energy
Yeah.
all the time. So yeah.
Right. All right. So, final question. Somebody who's looking up to you guys, because there are people looking up to both of you. What would you tell them to live a creative, fulfilled life?
Mm.
'Cause that answer is so different for every person, I
Really? You don't
feel.
have anything that you feel like just is kind of universal that would help them to, get started on living a fulfilled life if they don't feel like they are at this point? Because both of you seem like you're
Mhm.
pretty happy and it has its ups
Mhm.
and downs, but you're pretty happy in life.
I feel like a lot of people just don't make moves because they don't know what they want to do or like what direction to move in. And for me, something that's helped me a lot is to focus on my health,
Mhm.
my fitness, just treating my body right.
Mhm.
And I feel that when you treat your body right, um, and you're getting good sleep and everything, those ideas are going to come to you.
Mhm.
Like there's just so much blockage that happens. Yeah,
Mhm.
when you're living in an unhealthy environment. So the more that you can focus on yourself, your health, and just those basic foundations,
Mhm.
that those natural feelings of what's meant for you are going to come.
I
Mm.
agree with that 1000%.
I think what I'm focusing on right now is not negotiating with myself.
Mm.
So I get up in the morning, I have a series of things I want to do, and I'm like, I don't feel like doing this. Cool. You made a commitment, you're doing it. We're not negotiating. The
Yeah.
I feel
alarm
that.
goes off. Don't negotiate with your alarm. Just do the things that you set up for yourself. Show up to the commitments that you made for yourself, right? And that, I think, taking that one step deeper is not betraying myself. So on the flip side of it, it's like I made a commitment. This is very graphic, but like, I'm not gonna have sex with somebody that I have to negotiate with whether or not they're gonna put on a condom.
Right.
I'm
Right.
not negotiating for my vagina. I'm not negotiating for my alarm clock. I'm not negotiating. Like, this is enough because I spend so much time going around in circles about something I've already decided I'm going to do.
Mhm.
And the best thing with when I first started going live on TikTok, I was like, "Oh, I made $11 and 20,000 people watched. This is crazy. I've never made $11 for an audition. Let me try this again. I'll give it 30 days."
Mhm.
So giving myself that 30-day window of like, I'm going to try it, and 30 days to the day is the first time I went crazy viral. Um was like, there's no negotiating in this time, just to give myself a break
Yeah.
from this constant
Back and forth.
chatter.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I'm not negotiating with you. I'm not negotiating with myself. That's my
I
line.
feel that.
That's the end.
I love that. That's the perfect way to end the podcast. Thank
Mhm.
you both for coming and sitting on the couch with me and sharing so much of yourselves. Really appreciate it. Learned a lot from you both. And you guys tune in next week. This has been Passion Fruits, the podcast. And thank you for tuning in. Mwah. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.